Thank you very much, Adam Thoba1, for becoming a member. Always very nice. Uh, I framed Quadfather. That's the main thing we've got to talk about today. That whole thing was me. I framed him, and I'll do it again. He's in a wheelchair. It was an easy target, and I actually got a hard on from doing it to him. Okay. Well, as you can tell, my nose is a little fucked up, and I'm also not funny. Speaking of fucked up noses with unfunny people, Dave Sarra is joining me today. How did you like being roasted on the way in?
Hello, you sure lampooned me.
That's what you get. Also joining me today is something I enjoy. Is recording with two twins. And because of all the medication I'm on right now, I'm actually seeing double. It is the great trucker Andy. Andy, how you doing today?
Doing great.
Stop laughing. It's not funny.
Yes.
That's the joke.
Okay. And Dave Sarra, of course, loves his medicine, loves his medication, loves being overlit in the background. The only way to get that is this gorgeous, muscular man whose penis is so big that they are already talking about hosting DabbleCon, using it as a stage. It is the excellent Dr. Steve. How are you doing tonight, Dr. Steve?
He's a fucking idiot.
That's quite the introduction. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. You've got a very deep voice. How big is your penis?
Let's commensurate with my voice. I do okay.
So how big?
That's how that works.
Yeah, he's doxing me with my penis.
How big's your penis?
It's
More like coxing
Don't
you.
worry about it. I'll show you at DabbleCon.
Your space doxing.
Yeah, I'll show you at Hackamania.
How big is your dick, though?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good.
What size are we talking?
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
this a Jesse Peterson interview where you just keep asking the same question over and over again till he answer?
It's fucking huge.
Did you say you're going to be fucking Hughes?
Oh.
I do have a question for you, and I've been thinking about this for quite some time. I don't know what the agenda for this is, but your intro made me think of this because it's, there you are with the Ireland, and the green and all that stuff, and then it says DabbleVerse. How in the fuck does someone from a nice, sweet, kind boy from Ireland end up in the middle of this American lol cow stuff? I mean, how does that happen?
Well, I invented the DabbleVerse.
I knew I wasn't going to get a real answer.
No, it's true. Chrissy Mayer interviewed Stuttering John. Don't know if anyone's ever heard of him. And then I interviewed, which is what started the dabbling thing. I then interviewed Stuttering John, and he denied the stuff that he said to me. Yeah. And the people started covering his lies, and then everybody started doing great. And hit the like button for me being ripped off by hundreds of people.
But it's very true though. Before John realized what a laughing stock he was, he agreed to be on Hughesy's show and did a legitimate interview.
But how does that happen? I don't know any fucking Irish lol cows.
He's been in the game forever, Steve. Come on.
Well, I know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I can be quite charming when I'm not bleeding through the nose due to my 20s. But Stuttering John is the reason why I have a podcast, because with the short version of the story is I had a very bad back injury and I was on this medication for it that wasn't working. So I went to the doctors to get new meds, and I had a really bad reaction to it. On the same day that Stuttering John had agreed to do his first interview with me. And it was a complete disaster of an interview because I was fucked up. I can't even remember the name of the shit I'd taken. So allegedly he had started to send that interview around with look at this fucking loser. He is completely wasted. So he was able to make fun of somebody else's sobriety. And because of that, people like Jim Florentine and Jackie Martin allegedly became aware of this stupid Irish guy, and they all agreed to come on. And then I became the Titan.
Were you a Stern fan? I mean, why would you have ever known who Stuttering John was?
Well, Howard Stern was excellent because he had these female actors on, and I don't mean to be judgmental, but they were dirty fucking whores, complete sluts and bitches, and you could almost jerk your chicken listening to the Stern Show to the way these dirty, disease-carrying whores would talk. No offense to them. And because back then you didn't have broadband, so downloading, corn was difficult. So you needed every option you could have, but actually downloading the stuff. So thanks to Stern, thanks to Jennifer Aniston on season 2 of Friends, and thanks to the whores in the WWE, my cack seen a lot of action at a young age. Hit the like button for teenagers whacking off. Hilariously, Matt Wilson sent me a Canadian donation of $1.69. So it's not only generous, but it's also sexy. Right, Dave?
I like sexy.
I want to get Dave's opinion on this then. Since we're talking about why Howard Stern sucks now. I have always asserted that, people like to blame Marcy Turk, right? I think that Beth is the reason that the Stern Show sucks now, because Howard, he became single. Everything was fine. It was still horny. Then he meets his future wife. And when people are running around with a significant other, they don't want to see you having strippers in the studio on the Sibian. And I can only imagine that when he would punch out and go home, that Beth would have a problem with it. So that's why he put a stop to that. Doesn't that make sense? Isn't that like the Occam's razor of why there aren't whores on the Stern Show anymore? Because he didn't want his wife bitching at him?
Well, I think that's why he decided he wanted to be, hang out with the A-listers that were the
Steve,
ones.
I said I wanted Dave's opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, shit.
You're right.
Continue, Dr. Steve, and I'll give my opinion after.
No, it's fine. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I think that, he always made fun of the A-listers and people that wanted to be around them. And then I think marrying Beth made him want to be around those A-listers because of her, and he wanted to make her happy. And I think she kind of married him thinking there was going to be a little more glamorous, but I don't think she insisted. I think he did it. I blame all of this on Howard. Marcy allowed Howard to fire some people, although I don't know how that they fired that many, but she was a buffer between the staff and Howard, which is what he wanted, because he was unable to enforce those boundaries. But what this show has become now is 100% Howard. He did this himself. I don't think we can blame anybody else.
I wonder if there is some corporate pressure, though. I wonder if there is some sort of I don't want to use the word woke because that's the easy word. But I wonder if there is a DEI sort of something in the background, some hand that kind of guides him, saying we should be doing more of this. Maybe
when Tom Chiasano used to try to guide him, he would bring it to the air and say this is bullshit and drag Tom in there and yell at him and stuff. So if he didn't want to go this way, I don't think that we'd be having this conversation.
I also wonder if the numbers, if he can see the numbers. I know famously they talk about Opie and Anthony and all these other people not being able to see the numbers. Even famously they talk about with Jay and as recent as Jim and Sam. But I wonder if he's able to see them and he's like, all right, well, if I want that big check at the end of the day, like at the next payday, then maybe I just better play ball. And maybe it's been kind of sustaining him for that past 10 years. But I think they're done. And I do kind of agree with Carl. Carl's not here, but I heard a video of him talking about it, mentioning that he's kind of been stagnant now. Right, that's the one. like he mentioned that he's been like, I thought that Howard would go hard these last few months in hopes to like present that to maybe a Spotify will offer him 100 million or 200 million, maybe, you never know. So I do think that there might be some corporate background noise going on.
There's definitely nobody giving him real feedback and information when they're doing like Cocktober 4 months out of the year, and it's all about what's in Ronnie's ass and Sal's fucking foreskin. Nobody cares about that. That's not what his audience ever wanted. So the fact that that is an ongoing bit is just evidence that he's out of touch and people aren't giving him the actual analytics of what's going on with his channel. And it goes back to when he started actually reading comments and realizing that people thought the show sucked and he never even knew it. So,
yeah.
Well, speaking of Beth, she's an unattractive woman, but who is attractive is the woman in Holiday Twa's profile photograph. She's kindly, thanks for the 10. Dr. Steve is a treasure, and the rest of you are okay. Roasted. You mentioned Ronnie there, of course. His famous catchphrase was "Let's fuck some whores."
Yep.
Well, as of the last 40 minutes, as the last 40 minutes, it's been confirmed that Chad Zermark is now going to attend Hackmania, and that hopefully me and Chad will be able to room with each other and have a good time.
He's coming for real.
Fucking whores, it certainly is. Maybe you'll tell him how big your penis is there.
And you know who I really want to come is that Karmic dude. I want to meet him. He is. At first I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I started paying attention to him because Doom, at the end of all of their videos, has a bunch of Karmic stuff. And I love his accent, and he's the oddest dude, and I just really want to meet him.
I agree. I'm sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I was just gonna say that I think that Karmic, I think what they have to do is they have to build him a set. Him just going onto NLO is not gonna be the same. It's like, when he goes in MLC, he's widely just a water painting.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When he's in his element, in his room, on the couch, on the chair, in the school chair, whatever the fuck that is, either one of those, maybe get him, like create like a Married with Children style set for him and Felish, or just for him, a nice little spot. And then you kind of give him the option. I'm not ready to go live yet. And then whenever you're ready to go live, just hit the button and then we will gather.
Yes.
But yeah, set would be great.
That's exactly the way you'd have to do it.
Well, so I was going to say, speaking of going live, the first question I'd like to ask you, great gals, about roasted y'all at the same time. That's good stuff. Hit the like button for more great roasts.
Well, you're gay, Husey. You're gay.
Yeah, you are. This is good shit. In the poll question, I'm asking, does Quad deserve all of the hate that he's getting today? And the interesting options I've given is A, yes, or B, no. That's a well thought out poll. For those that don't know, the both of you, I'm on a roll tonight. Quad it's been come out that he called the police on Chad Zermark when he was at the Mercer's house streaming himself, and he alleged that there was weapons there and stuff like that. Dr. Steve, basically, from this type of shit, I don't know you don't really stay into the DabbleVerse all that much, but when you see this type of stuff going on, like this to me is lunacy.
Yeah.
To get so involved in somebody else's feud that's not even a real feud. Like Chad and Mersh go on MLC and yuck it up with dick jokes and hilarious stuff like that. What do you think, Dr. Steve, at that level of interference and the current state of that type of DabbleVerse behavior?
So what Quad, if let's just say somebody came came to his house and said, "What the hell were you doing?" And I mean, from law enforcement, he'd say, "I was just concerned. I was worried that something bad was going to happen." And he'll skate on that. And if Chad hadn't been there, this wouldn't have happened. I don't understand what Chad was doing there. He's like, "Well, come on out and be funny." Can you imagine if there's somebody in front of your yard yelling at you to come out and be funny? Maybe Husey could do it. Maybe Dave could. I could not be funny in that situation. I'd be, particularly if I was like Mersh and I was asleep, because he sleeps till 2 p.m. I don't understand the point of the whole thing. And what I think Quad thought it was going to be funny, and I owe Quad quite a bit for the porn bombing he did basically on my behalf several years ago. So I have some regard for the extremity of, the extremes he'll go to be funny. But this could have ended up in a real, tragedy had things gone differently. So the odds that it could have been tragic, probably 1 in 10,000, but still, that's more than it should have been. So,
I always say that Merce should have had a couple of minutes prepared and just run out into the street and start doing crowd work. And
I believe him that he was asleep and didn't even know anything was going on. I mean, this seems to be the pattern. John goes to Melton's house when he's not there. He goes to Kevin's house when he's not there. Chad goes to Mersh's house when he's asleep. I just, no one has ever that I've seen ever had somebody in front of their house yelling at them and they've come out to interact with them. It's never happened.
Right. The only time it's ever been successfully pulled off is when Frank Hassel went to Boogie's house and Boogie shot a gun into a schoolyard, and that was the only. And I think that's what Chad was going for. But Steve, you accidentally said "be funny" when you were talking about Quad, so I just want to qualify that. Fucking, I don't know what he was thinking. Snitches get stitches is my take on what the fuck Quad was thinking. Why would you ever do this, Chad? It was an ill-conceived bit from Chad that was not funny. It was never going to be funny, and making fun of the fact that it wasn't funny was what would be funny about it. And you calling the cops on it and trying to, make it end in a bad way, also not funny. So, I mean, the only thing that would have been funny is if Mersh was actually there to tell Chad that he was a fucking loser, and that didn't happen. So,
well, and if he had come out, Chad was across the street, so they'd just be yelling at each other across.
Just put on shoes, put on his sandals, go across. I was like, fucking step over some hyperthermic, some needles, hypodermic needles. I know. I skipped the word instead of trying to fuck it up a second time. With the I guess Mersh kind of looks good in this situation because he comes out on top because he didn't end up lying. He kind of still sort of lied, but in the end, nobody believed that he didn't call the cops. People were like, "No, you called the cops for sure." And then, well, no, turns out somebody halfway across the country called the cops.
No, that's a good point. The best thing that came out of this was Rocco's impression of Quadfather is fucking brilliant.
Yes.
I watched that last night. It was brilliant.
Yep. But that's unfair because I've been doing a Quad thing forever. You basically just do a Sam Elliott and you go, "Hey, Kaylee, I know I can't walk, but I'll fuck you if you've never dated a you-know-what."
Okay, it's not bad.
I do my Quad impression. I sit in my my office chair and just roll around my house without getting up. That's my Quad impression.
I do my Quad impression every time I walk past the tree and spit on it.
Wow. That's good. Wow. What about a pool? Do you piss in it? Piss in the pool?
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. What I find is I lost my train of thought now. It's fine. Bless you. God bless your soul.
Thank you.
Gesundheit.
Here's a rough one. Quad's daughter cup holder for $2. 911. My dad doesn't play child support. I love
Supporter.
Black tea.
Supporter. I hardly knew her.
This guy's
There you
fucking
go.
crazy. Thanks for the
That's
two.
That's a comedian right there. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that.
I don't go
My
for
dabble
jokes like that.
dice. It's stuff.DrSteve.com. Thank you. All right.
It's wonderful
Perfect
stuff.
stocking stuffer for the holidays, everyone.
Right.
Well, speaking of which, there was this comment. I don't know if you'd like to address it, Dr. Steve, while I shoot blood out of my nose.
Yeah, it would be unethical. Okay, it says, Dr. Steve, as a doctor, this is Vince, would you admit it's unethical to sell board games making fun of a potential patient's alcoholism and liver disease? Yes, it would be unethical if I was making fun of a potential patient's alcoholism and liver disease. Instead, this is a cautionary tale. And it says, oh, please drink responsibly. It also says, this is a fictitious game. Any resemblance to persons living or dead is imaginary. If you see yourself in this game, it says more about you than the game itself. Always drink responsibly. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Potential patient, whatever.
I
We don't want his
Potential patient.
business.
What potential patient are we talking about?
Stop
Yeah.
being a stinker. Worry more about other things.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do? You're gonna call the police on Dr. Steve like a Sam
Yeah.
Elliott impersonator in
Yeah.
a wheelchair that looks like
Hey.
Chinese person?
Yeah,
Let's
hey,
grill
Dave,
you on
Dave,
this. Let's grill you on this GoFundMe before we talk about this stupid
Yeah.
cube
Yeah,
sale.
there you go.
Do you want to admit that it would be unethical to take everybody's money in Monopoly and fucking make them destitute? What are we talking about? It's a fucking game. Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up, Vince.
Well,
Yeah,
and
have some fun. Have
you
some
know, I
fun.
have Pig Knuckle Pinochle coming out too, and you could say I'm just
Oh,
making fun of country folk because it's about all my hillbilly relatives. Because I'm a hillbilly, you just don't know it because I went to broadcast school and lost my accent. But you know, I grew up in an area that had 4 miles of dirt road going to my house, and so my Aunt Myrtle and my cousin Delmer and my other cousin Cletus are all in that game. Is that unethical? I don't know. You know, there's no comedy without somebody getting hurt, I'm afraid. So
I'm glad you said 4 miles because I thought you were going to say 4 black people and then there was only 3. I was like, whoa, you really are from the country. Hit the like button for the. We got 4 black people. Let's get 4 likes. Holiday Twa. Thanks for the 5. Trucker Andy, you and producer Chris and Brandon from Drew Lane should start your own show and get out of the oppressive boot that Carl has on your neck. Well, that is some boot to work on a foot like his.
yeah,
But that's a question I should ask, specifically for Andy. I've always got along with Carl since day one, but there does seem to be a really large backlash against Carl and WATP lately. What do you think about that one? Hit the like button.
About like the backlash on the I feel like it's an unjustified backlash when it comes to the Aaron cellmate interview. I feel like whenever people try and do something different that is not just watching Stuttering John sneeze and then putting it in slow-mo and looking at how gross it is, whenever they try and do something that is not the same old thing over and over again, people get upset because it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they tried to do something that hadn't been done before. When's the last time you saw somebody have an interview with somebody from prison? It doesn't happen a whole lot. And just because it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, where Aaron looked like a fucking jerk off, that doesn't mean that wasn't a special moment in the DabbleVerse. That was very unique. And I've seen it happen over and over again. I'm not going to like go into a lot of examples, but anytime somebody takes a swing that doesn't land,
swing and a miss.
yes, swing and a miss. People get very upset about that. And it's just like, don't worry. We're going to go back to fucking talking about Opie and John and whatever. But what if it did work out? What if it did go the right way? Then Carl would be a fucking hero, right? So
what if he didn't play it? And then it came
Yeah.
out later that he had called this guy and it had vindicated Aaron, and he never played it. It would have been 1,000 times worse.
Mhm. But
You know?
I mean, Carl plays in that sandbox of if you dish it out, you gotta take it.
Yeah.
So he is built his career on shitting on things. So when something doesn't go the way that he thought it was going to go, and people take him to task about it, then he has to suffer those slings and arrows. So, and he's more than willing to do that. I know Carl for years, and people shitting on him is just part and parcel for
I admired
WATP. So
the fact that he brought it out and just played it straight and said, "Yep, this didn't go the way we thought it was going to." The only criticism I heard from people that was serious was that he kept hyping it up. But I'm like,
well,
he's a marketing guy. What the fuck?
Exactly.
That's in his nature. We can't fault him for his nature, but I do understand where people are thinking, well, okay, here comes something. But that was just Carl, being a carnival barker.
Right.
And he's
And I mean,
very good at it.
Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson. How much money did that make? How many people watched that?
He made the if I remember correctly, he made the analogy to Geraldo and Al Capone's vault.
Yes.
Which was apropos. And that was still fun as fuck to watch.
Yeah.
The Geraldo thing was fun.
We could just chalk off the Carl stuff to just blame it on Moody. It's very simple.
Yes, I like that.
Very simple.
Dr. Steve, is depression called by chemical imbalance or nah, she's from the hood?
Yeah. Well, it's quite a swerve, but yeah, we can talk about that.
Let's take the show up a notch and make it fun. Talk about depression.
So what they did was they found a bunch of people with depression, did some brain biopsies, and found that they had more serotonin in their the cerebral spinal fluid than people that don't. So then that don't have depression. So then we developed these drugs to just dump buckets of serotonin into people's brains. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it can be just a random genetic effect. If you've got depression in your family, then you can have this chemical, quote unquote, imbalance that causes depression. Or it could be in reaction to something. We have reactive depression. People who, get a diagnosis of cancer very often will, understandably have a depression that may lift when their symptoms are or their disease is resolved. So, but it's more complex than that. It's not just you have an imbalance and so you have depression. Sometimes you can have depression and you develop an imbalance. And one thing I really want to say about depression is it's not sadness. If you have symptoms of not enjoying things like you used to, if you can't derive enjoyment from things, and if you're having insomnia or hypersomnia, any of those, or increase in appetite or decrease in appetite, that's the problem with depression, then those things may be your symptoms of depression. You may not feel sad at all. I have lots of people that say that. And and I'll stop and I'll get off my soapbox in 1 minute, Husey. You can time me. Sorry. We are 40 years behind in depression research because of Timothy Leary. Timothy Leary, was experimenting on psilocybin and then just decided, what, I'll drop psilocybin along with my subjects, and then started popularizing this stuff that, everybody should just take it. And at the time, the Congress of the United States was very conservative, both the Democrats and the Republicans, socially conservative. And they saw all these hippies, man, I'm tripping, man. And so they said, fuck this. We're not paying for any more research on psychedelics for depression or PTSD. So we're 40 years behind in that. All we have are serotonin and dopaminergic drugs. We really need those new drugs. So we've got ketamine now. We're going to have psilocybin soon, and they just did a study on single dose LSD that resolved people's PTSD for up to 4 weeks. So there's lots coming down the pike when it comes to depression research, and we're going to be in a lot better position to treat it going forward. But anyway,
short answer: get over it, pussy.
Sorry.
Do drugs.
No, I'm not saying that. And that's the thing. That's the thing that kind of hurts my heart is that people have to go to the street to get off opioids, so they take kratom, which can be problematic, or they're self treating depression by microdosing mushrooms, which I'm not a just say no type person, but they should be able to get these medications in a way that's controlled and so that they know what they are. You're buying stuff off the street, you never know what the hell you're really getting.
I'm sorry, not to jump in, Husey, but I guess I want Dr. Steve's opinion. Have you ever seen the Trafficked episode about trank dope and that shit that it's like melting people's skin and arms?
That's
like
crocodile.
Oh my God, it's so.
Yeah, they use red phosphorus,
disgusting.
and Honky Talk Tennessee says WATP is greater than PTSD. Stay on topic, Doc. So I will shut up about it. But yeah, that crocodile stuff, the chemicals that they use to convert codeine to heroin basically are toxic, and that's the problem. When we told doctors stop prescribing this stuff, they did it. It's really hard to get an opioid prescription from a primary care doctor, and but are you cheering that or Jake Hudson?
Yeah, both.
Okay. So when they did that, the supply dried up, but the demand didn't go anywhere. And so you get more and more people dying of fentanyl overdoses and using things like crocodile because they're still desperate. In my area, we've ramped up the addiction treatment, so it's a little bit better here. But
do they have crocodile in Ireland, Husey? Do you know what that
only
is?
For sex.
So trank is crocodile. What's I don't understand. Is it like a pill? Is it green?
No,
it's like a bobo fentanyl heroin mix that
crocodile. Yeah, trank and crocodile, two slightly different things.
Okay, so what's crocodile? What's crocodile?
Crocodile is, if I remember the chemistry right, you can take codeine and you can pass it through a process that turns it into a heroin analog. But the problem is you can't get rid of all the toxic ingredients that cause the transition. And so when you shoot it up, you get this horrible skin inflammation. I can probably.
I see. Like a bumpy surface.
Well,
okay.
Way worse than that.
I wasn't sure. Got it.
But how much can I sell it for on the street?
Right. Trank, though, it usually comes like a pill kind of a form, right? Usually.
It's like a hybrid drug, though, and when people shoot it up, it's making their skin like bubble up and melt off and turn green, and it's real horrific.
Yeah.
And don't go watch the Trafficked Mariana Van Zeller episode about it, unless you want it to live in your brain rent free, live in your nightmares for the rest of your life.
Congratulations, Jake Hudson, for thanks for the 2. I had 3,000 subs on YouTube today. So there you go.
Everybody leave this channel right now, this show right now, and go to Jake Hudson's channel and subscribe, and then come back.
If you go to Figure 1, that's crocodile skin.
Yeah, no, I believe you, but I'm not going to put that up.
You're not going to put that up?
Because it reminds me of my cack. I don't want to fucking... but you mentioned addiction and depression, and you also said the word transition. Do you think that that addiction and depression is something that's way too common in the DabbleVerse, and that we have people now striking channels? We've got Stuttering John's clearly out trying to shut down Shuli, all that type of shit. Do you think that that there's something weird about podcasters, that so many people, such as Dave Sarra, who's definitely gone off to Let It Snow, and he will, like, if you don't believe me, watch how wide-eyed he is when he comes back. He'll be singing the Bee Gees when he gets back. He'll be like, "Oh, there was somebody at the door." So do you think that that's a common thing? And hit the like button if you're a depressed addict.
I just think that what happens with these lol-col cases is that people keep pushing the envelope, and you only have to push a little bit, and then over time it just gets darker and darker and darker. Look at what happened with the Patrick Tomlinson thing. It started off with a tweet of him saying he didn't find Norm Macdonald funny, and it's ended up with people going to his bed and breakfast and staying there and shitting and not flushing the toilet. And I mean, it's hilarious, but it is, it's gotten pretty dark. There's been lawsuits there where Patrick had to pay, or Fatrick, I should say, had to pay some of his trolls like $28,000.
More like Fatrick cheese melting. Am I right?
Oh, there you go.
Burned.
That's good, I'll tell you.
You fat cunt.
Jesus. So, we have an example of, I was there when that started. I used to be on the O&A subreddit, and when the whole Fatrick Tomlinson thing started, and then to just see what it's turned into now. If you're interested in following it, go to youtube.com and search for Cryptic Web Chronicles. They have a whole playlist that'll take you from the beginning all the way to present. It's crazy, and this is going the same way. And I kind of tapped out with the Nick Rekieta and the kids and the Aaron thing, because it just, to me, was just a little bit too dark. So it got too real.
When it got the most interesting, Dr. Steve decided it wasn't fun anymore.
There's a good question by Stash. Would you rather crocodile leg rot or Stuttering John's dick warts?
Oh, the dick warts, absolutely.
Let's have ones in the chat for leg rot, or twos for dick warts. My favorite game. It's Christmas time, everybody. Thanks for Johnny F. Carson thanks for the 10 for a super sticker. Hell of a nice guy. Bet his name not really Johnny Carson.
Oh.
But what do you think? Yeah, well, what do you think about that, Andy? Because I'm not just saying this because he did the show pretty recently, but for me personally, I have no idea why people have a problem with Shuli at all. I remember once years ago, for no actual reason, he didn't know me. I didn't have a big channel, but he came on my show and answered a bunch of hard, stern questions, which he wouldn't answer anywhere else. And it got me a lot of numbers. I earned fairly well from it. And I was like, holy shit. Since then, he technically, I don't know if he offered me a job, but he offered to pay me to come on the Shuli show every once in a while. I was very busy at the time, and also I was pretty rich. Times have changed, so send that fucking money over this way, Joe. And I said orange juice. My mic cut out. See, don't you dox me, you piece of shit, Dr. Steve. But all that sort of stuff. Why do you think there's such a backlash against Shuli? Is it just because of Stuttering John, or am I so stupid that I don't have a fucking clue what's going on at all anymore? You bastards, hit the like button.
That's an interesting question, but I'm glad you paid your dues, because we couldn't talk about this if you didn't. But
if he did pay me, he would be called Hughes Payer. Hit the like button for more bangers.
That's a good one.
And Shuli. I hate to say it. I think there's a lot of just anti-Semitism is baked into the Shuli's Anonymous channel. People just don't want to fucking deal with Shuli at all. But also, he has like a long-running history of representing himself on the Stern Show in a way that it was maybe in a stunt boy kind of way, which a lot of people might remember. And then on top of that, he has sort of taken the WATP for football, whereas in the DabbleVerse, it was a segment, and he's taken that and turned it into just that's all he does. And I swear when John went away the second last, maybe it was the second time he did it or 2 times ago when he almost just didn't come back. If he had never come back, I don't think that Uncle Rico would even be a thing anymore. But
Right.
John was stupid enough to come back and threw more gasoline on the fire. And now it is ballooned to what it is now. But I think that people think that Shuli is just beating a dead horse. Like he's taken a good thing. And it's just like when you can get all the chocolate you want. And it's just, okay. Oh, you like chocolate? Here, you just all you're gonna eat is
10
chocolate.
pounds of
Just
it, right?
stuttering John constantly. I think that people think that he's beating it into the ground, and I
Some
think
people
that
do. They still have a lot of people who watch that, and they make a lot of money on that show still.
yeah. Oh, they make tons of money, but
know.
it's a lot of it is just reading super chats. It's I like it when they're making jokes, but like 60% of the show is reading chats and super tips, and it's very easy to get distracted and check out and stop paying attention and get away from it. But when they're on and it's funny, it's funny.
Yeah.
So
the one thing I'll say about 2 things I'll say about Shuli. He made Howard laugh harder than I ever heard anybody but maybe Artie laugh. And when he was doing Tan Mom,
the Tan Mom impression is gold.
It's perfect. And Howard was howling and it was real. Sometimes Howard would do that laugh and it wasn't real. He was cracking Howard up. And the other thing is because of that, I hired him to do this funniest fucker in our area comedy competition, and I had him to do the Ryan Seacrest part, and we did sort of an American Idol version, and we had 9 local comics, and I knew some of them were really going to suck, and Shuli was perfect, as the whack pack whisperer, because he was always great with Underdog Lady too. And Crazy Alice and a bunch of those people, I knew he'd be really good, and he was. And at the end of it, he just said, "Do you all want more comedy?" Now, this is our biggest event that we ever did. We had we were 100 people over what the fire marshal said. If they'd come in, they would have shut us down. And people were like, "Fuck yeah!" And he did another 20 minutes of comedy. And when it was over, he got a standing ovation that didn't stop till he left the stage. So I'm just telling people who say Shuli isn't funny, I have to disagree with them on that, because at least at that event, he was fucking hilarious. He was perfect for it. Mm-hmm. And we paid him extra for it. Even we bonused him because he did such a great job. Anyway,
so thank you, Jake, for being a YouTube member, and he said that he loves you guys. That's gay. And Ari's trying to get a piece.
I was on Jake's show. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
She goes, "I just love Dr. Steve.
Oh.
Dr. Steve's going to add another notch to the bedpost." Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Ari J.
I got to ask, you mentioned about them flogging a dead horse or whatever with the Stuttering John stuff. But speaking of dead, just a few days ago, quite tragically, Opie lost his mum. And Jim Norton, I think it was today or yesterday, sent him a nice public message. And of course, Opie sent Jim a nice message around the time when Ozzy Osbourne died. Spoiler alert. And of course, Anthony has himself stated that at the what is the Luis J. Gomez festival called?
Skankfest.
Skankfest. I forgot. I don't like Hispanics. Hit the like button for racism. Anthony has said that he would do an Opie and Anthony reunion show at Skankfest, or if something like that. Do you think with all these public signs of
no
condolences? No, never.
No, I don't see it. Go ahead, finish your question. But I know
a reunion, is that where you're going with?
Yeah, or even just like a one-off show that they could at least yuck it up and be like, "Remember when?"
I would love to see it.
personally, I think there's a financial gold mine that those guys are missing out on. Like, uh, just this year, Oasis reunited, and they had a massive successful reunion tour that made over 400 million within 4 months, which is what should be making if everyone would hit the like button. What a great joke. Everyone will donate after hearing a joke like that.
Yeah, it never gets old.
So, but if Opie and Anthony got back and we're like, okay, even if we hate each other, let's talk about the time Joe Piscopo was on the show and we goofed on his crappy fucking thing. Let's talk about the Patrice O'Neill stuff and we'll go through it bit by bit. There's a fortune waiting to be made by these guys.
Agreed.
And Opie has said himself, and we all know he actually means it. He's losing a lot of money. He's going broke. He's got nothing coming in. His ego it's got to be dented more than his bank account. With all that in mind, do you think there could be a reunion, and how big is your penis?
Yeah, I'd like to be
10 inches
wrong,
and
but I
no.
don't see it happening. Go ahead. Go ahead, Andy. What do you think?
Opie is so PTSD about that experience and his ego and the slights and the fact that he's completely outclassed joke wise. I think he's scared and traumatized and delusional. And these things are coalescing into a mental state of mind that won't allow him to ever do it, because people shit on him. He's been shit on so much at this point, and he's outclassed so much by Anthony's sense of humor and likability, and it's just been laid bare that Opie is talentless and Anthony, because I used to listen to it and I couldn't tell who was who. Like when I first started listening to it, I didn't know, and I just thought it was a show about saying that everything sucked. And I didn't realize when somebody said something funny that it was the one guy that was funny, and somebody said something shitty and something sucked that it was the other guy that wasn't funny. And Carl was the one that brought that to my attention, and now it's just like, well, why would I ever want to listen to Opie? But I just think that Opie's terrified to do that. He is no amount of money will allow him to participate in that.
They came close once. I don't know if you remember one time. I think Opie. I'm not sure which show it was on, but he had Anthony on, and they talked, and they had some of that old chemistry, because they did have chemistry. And even Opie said, "Hey, we still got that chemistry." And I really thought there was a chance then that this would happen. I was in studio multiple times when it was still the Opie and Anthony show with Jim Norton in there. And Opie was not talentless. He was very good at the rudder of the ship, but he knew what funny was. He wasn't a comedian. He knew he wasn't a comedian. That's why he hired Anthony in the first place, because he and Joe came in and did funny things that people liked. But he knew funny, and he also knew when something had gone on long enough. Now, there were times when I know that he interrupted and ruined a thing, but that you can't do 4 hours a day and not have stuff like that happen. But there was so much more that was great on that show. And I wish I could be wrong on this, but I think there's too much water under the bridge. Too many things have been said subsequent to that one episode where they kind of got back together again for a minute, that I don't think either one of them would want to do it.
But do you think there's also a possibility that, say, Anthony and Jim and A-Rock could do the reunion without him, and people would just be as happy?
Oh, there are a lot of people who would be. I still think that the show was better when it was the three of them, or if you include E-Rock, the four of them. But I also understand, put E-Rock through a lot of stuff back then. And now that they're not friends anymore, E-Rock isn't shy about talking about it, which I love. I mean, E-Rock's one of my favorite people, and he will dish about all this stuff that happened, and that would be fascinating. I like it when he's on WATP and just talks about Opie and Anthony and stuff that happened back then. Carl always makes sure to have a Opie segment on when E-Rock's on.
Yeah, because the thing is, I think that there's a plug for Andy. He does
LL. That's hilarious.
He does the great show All Apologies. That if they went through it and just broke down an Opie and Anthony segment per week, people would tune in and then people would react. And but do you think that Opie would ruin it accidentally or on purpose?
I think that if it was actually happening, he could maybe go with the flow and just do what he was supposed to do and take not a back seat, but just the passenger seat and let the show be what it's supposed to be. I think there's a version of it that would be awesome. I think everybody would love to see it.
I would love to see it.
Yeah, I just don't think that Opie wants to do it.
I agree with you. It would be buckets of money in that.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the beginning.
Maybe he'll get to a place financially where he has to do it.
Or, another few years go by and they just leave each other alone for a little bit and the heat dies down. Did I piss Dave off, by the way? Where'd he go? Is he okay?
I think he OD'd. Let's just get that story out there.
Okay.
But Earl Skeekle says, I heard Dave Sarra has a huge hog.
That's pretty good Earl impression. I met Earl at the first Hackamania. He was delightful.
How big was his dick?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. His head was gigantic.
KB has Jake Hudson on MLC right now, and you're stuck with Dr. Steve with his shit.
Is that true?
What a great show MLC is now.
Can we snipe that?
That's the thing. I'm very thankful for Jake's membership stuff, but Kevin Brennan used to be on Saturday Night Live as a cast member. Then he played Santa Claus on fucking Spin City with Michael J. Fox. Then he went on tour with Louis C.K. Then he wrote a TV show with Norm Macdonald.
He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and now he's interviewing Jake Hudson.
Yeah.
Hey, dumb cunt, shut the fuck up.
He's doing what he wants to do.
Here's a good question by Mr. Blue Sky. Is it bad having a huge Dr. Steve asking for a friend?
If it is huge enough, when it becomes erect, you lose blood supply. A significant amount of blood supply can drive your blood pressure down, and then you can't maintain the erection. So it's not all it's cut out to be.
I will be totally honest.
Slam some puss and you're passing out while you're getting.
Yeah, I don't want to dox myself, but I have an enormous penis.
Excellent.
It is big, long, and thick, and it gives me a headache, and that's why I have to drink water because I get dehydrated. And Earl Skeekle tags on to the Kevin Brennan shitting, doing primetime David Letterman SNL to interviewing Jake Hudson. Get the fuck out of here.
That's right. Hughesy's wearing this hat because he's covering up all the head wounds from passing out from all the blood flow going to his huge hog.
It is.
He can't maintain consciousness.
Yeah, and if anybody doesn't believe me, donate a couple of Red Boys and I'll send you a picture of my erect penis. It's quite shocking. But Dave, of course, can't be here right now. I
already got him from Lemmy, Hughesy. She's putting it all over the internet. I saw that episode. You forwarded cock.
True. I also accidentally said it to Shmuel Buckman, but I did it. I accidentally sent it to him. So Dave can't make it right now, but he's about to host the Dave Sarra.
Think it was Cardiff when he came on.
the Dave Sarra Dabble Awards. So go follow Dave Sarra at Dave Sarra on YouTube. He's at Dave Sarra on Instagram and Dave Exhale on Twitter. Hang on a second. Look at this fucking You're Irish, Susie. I've been with Irish dudes. Come on. Yeah, okay. You're
Oh.
also 5'11" for a woman. Okay, like a 47-inch TV screen would look small in the Vatican. Okay, so let's not judge the size of my cack. Or is she trying to dox me into sending her dick pics? You never know.
Prove it. Yeah.
Andy, what plugs do you have for all these lovely boys and girls?
Plugs, yes. Allapologiespodcast.com. Husey knows we just started doing bonus content with Nelly, a new girl who Husey's doing a viewing of Love Actually with. And she's been nice enough to jump in as my paywall. She's my golden goose. I'm keeping her under lock and key, where if you pay $3 a month, you can see me do an episode with Nelly every week. And so check that out. And then I'll be at Hackamania in April. I use promo code COME, spelled COME, to save $0. It's your no homo promo code. So I'll see everybody in Las Vegas. Thank you.
And Dr. Steve?
Yeah, I don't have a promo code this year for Hackamania, apparently. So just come. I'm going. I got my ticket. We're hanging out.
This is breaking news. I didn't know that you're going to be there.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing a show, but I'm just going to come hang out to this.
We're just going to fucking party the whole time. Great.
Yeah.
No responsibilities. That's all.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, I've said for a long time we should just get together when we don't have a show to do, but everybody's just always got to do a show, and it's I'd like to hang out. I would like for people to check out Dabble Dice at stuff.drsteve.com. Thank you, sir. And I'm selling them at cost. I make zero money off of this because I don't want to make money off of this. But I do want people to have it because I had to buy 500 of the fucking things to get them at the price that I got them at. But it is a fun game. Carl and them played it this weekend when they were on vacation, I think. And and we also have some Troy Smith artwork. The first one in the batch is the Green Furry Monster. It's an 8 by 11 foam board. Blow up of one of the Wet Brain cards, because Wet Brain is no longer available, but the card art is. So Troy Smith did such a great job. I didn't, when the game went away, I didn't want the artwork to go away. So he's brilliant.
Tommy Jordan, thanks for the 2. Husey, you won, but KB voted for me, so I won. Yeah. You tell yourself that.
You did win.
Wigger.
If she voted for you, you won.
Yeah, and Mr. Blue Sky says, Dr. Steve midget toss versus nunchucking?
Oh, nunchucking, of course. I don't know.
I would agree.
I don't know what that is.
I just want to thank, of course.
You would know more about nunchucking than I would, given that. Well, it's an assumption. I'm assuming you grew up Catholic, so.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a different type of N-word. So I just want to thank everybody for watching. Of course, I want to thank Dr. Steve for coming on, Trucker Andy, Dave for those 2 minutes he was here. Everybody hit the like button. I can feel my nose bleeding right now. Stevie Lou got nunchucked. He certainly did. Go follow Stevie Lou on Twitter. Don't forget to hit the like button, become a member, and tomorrow I get a special stream coming up. I've got Anthony Meade, Scarlett Hampton, $2 Dan will be joining us. Jim Stansel will be on, and the returning Keanu C. Thompson.
Yes, banger, yeah.
It will be good, and I will be drunk because it's Thursday, and I'll be doing that Love Actually thing with Nelly's arse or that new girl, whatever the fucking name is. Thanks everybody. Oh, and also on Friday I've got Vince Russo coming on with Bob Levy and Nasty Neil. So I can't wait to see who drops out and fucks up the 3 days of Christmas. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. We're going to do a woke. Oh, sorry, and one more thing on the poll: does Quad deserve all the hate? And it is at 71% yes, and I'm going to end the poll so that I can't be proven wrong. We're going to do we're going to do an old TV special. Goodbye, everybody.
Sorry, I
And that's
ruined
it.
the show.
Thank you. My nose is bleeding. Thanks.
And if you leave me now, you take away the biggest part of me. Ooh, baby, please don't go.